Why are you staring at me?
I thought you'd be a dude.
I beg your pardon?
I don't care. Dr. K will always be my favorite mentor in Power Rangers. There's so much to her. She has so much heart. She's a jerk.
That thing's still out there. What am I supposed to do then?
Nothing, Ranger Blue. Absolutely nothing. Do you think you can handle that?
But she means well. Her focus episode is also, like, actually insane. Play that funky music, white girl. I said funky, YouTube. Funky. Quit playing with me.
Doc K. I'll be right there.
It starts with her aggressively playing a white violin in the command center with a string popping after she's interrupted by Summer. Dr. K and this violin will be important for what I have to say later on.
Look at those two heads! They're disgusting! Oh! That one is the most...
These villains are genuinely hilarious. Please give them their flowers. This episode is built around the notion that Dr. K is running out of answers for how the Rangers can stand up to Venjix. Venjix's power is beginning to overthrow that of the Rangers' technology, even to where they need an entirely new flux overthruster just to power their strongest Megazord combination. You know, the kind of overthruster that Scott went out of his way to find in Ranger Red. K gets bombarded with questions, and then Ziggy breaks the commotion to ask an extremely serious one that makes no sense.
Are we or are we not the good guys?
What's it like, being stupid your whole life? Is it as wonderful as it seems?
Now, you can say she's being a jerk, she's being rude, she's just being standard Dr. K, but I present you with the notion that she was being 100% serious in this question, and she's looking in his eyes to figure out the truth. We're immediately given backstory of her as a child enjoying life as one should, drawing on the ground with chalk, when she's then picked up by two strange men in suits and kidnapped.
Can I go outside now?
You're a very sick little girl and the sun makes you unwell.
Flash forward a year later and she's in a lab coat and an isolated room. This is so messed up. These people kidnapped this girl because of her prowess. You can see when she's using the chalk that she's writing out these complex equations and formulas, and they manipulate her into thinking she's sick so that she's not tempted to escape or just leave where she's been put, and force her to essentially create code for their operations. What makes it worse is we're shown that even in her adult age, she's sitting in the same room with a bigger lab coat and the exact same situation. Her entire childhood ripped away.
You do have a wish, don't you?
I wish I could remember my name.
This is why I say I believe she was actually serious when asking Ziggy what it's like being stupid, and I'm sure that's what the writers intended as well. She more than likely felt that if she weren't so smart, if she wasn't this genius as a child and were more stupid, those men would have never kidnapped her, which is so heartbreaking to think that that's what they did to her and her mind. She couldn't even remember her name. Back in the present, the Rangers are fighting a Venjix attack bot that can replicate their arsenal through its mirror gimmick. But at some point, it appears to shut down right before it's able to take the Rangers out. With it being normal size and seemingly offline, Dr. K requests that it be brought to the command center.
How did you ever create all this Ranger stuff?
I had help.
It's fascinating. We're shown more backstory on how the Ranger series technology was created, back at this awful holding cell, which is called Alphabet Soup, by the way. She has her own keyboard that she's playing, and nice of them to at least give her one of those, I guess, I don't know. I mean, there's also a violin there as well.
Hello, Dr. K.
I'm Jem.
And I'm Gemma.
We're going to have so much fun working together.
Just tell us what we can do.
This is Jem and Gemma, twins that were assumably also kidnapped at a young age, if not birthed here. We actually don't know at all the circumstances surrounding how they showed up, but we do know they were also raised here at Alphabet Soup. They bond with Dr. K as they're meant to be the test pilots for the first Ranger series built with the Ranger series technology. Jem and Gemma I won't speak too terribly much on here in this video, as they'll be so much more important soon, but they take a liking to Dr. K, probably because she's the first other actual person they get to interact with that isn't someone in a business suit. Even Dr. K seems thrown aback by their interest in her and that they want to be friends, something she hasn't experienced in actual years. She's so enthralled that when gifted a pencil by them, she has no actual reason to use it, as she's never been given paper, so she decides to use it in place of her fingers on the keyboard to the point that it's losing lead. I love her so much, dude. If you look closely at her screen, she's deciphering code on what looks to be Venjix attack bots, or maybe perhaps creating it. Oh, back in the present, Tanaya 7 sneaks her way into the command center through the offline Venjix bot, and Dr. K points a gun in her face. I mean blaster, sorry.
This ain't a gun. Yo, TikTok, this is not a gun, dude. Look at this.
Tanaya reprograms the Zords so that the Rangers can't control them, but then gets captured by Dr. K's security system. Tanaya's desire to escape reminds Dr. K of when she found out the truth about alphabet soup. She once followed a butterfly that led her to sunlight for the first time in her adult life, which is when she realized she was being tricked and had never been sick. She rallies Jim and Gemma and tries to convince them as well that it's all been one giant fabrication. Her plan is to blind the security servers for their escape plan with a computer virus called Project Venjix.
No! Gemma, no!
Jim and Gemma get caught and brought back forcefully, with Kay being next. As she's being taken away, she violently attempts to install the firewall to keep Venjix from breaking out, but it's too late.
I just wanted to go outside! No! Please! It could infect the entire world!
1 year later at Alphabet Soup, the Battle of Corinth takes place, with Venjix having infected so much of the world. Dr. K manages to make a call to the world asking them to find Corinth City, where a dome will be put up to save anyone lost and in need of help.
No one can know that Venjix started here.
Now, I was initially of the belief that Venjix was created by Dr. K to escape Alphabet Soup, which maybe that was intended, but the way the business suits speak to her here make it seem like they were the ones that wanted it created. They had her breaking down codes for attack bots and had her create the Ranger system. Maybe Kay created Venjix for them because she was told to, but was just the one that released the virus without being able to install the firewall to keep it contained. Jim and Gemma come to her rescue, but then attempt to go back and retrieve the Gold and Silver series technology before being crushed, never seen again, by Dr. K. After Tanaya escapes, Kay uses her violin, something that causes Tanaya great distress, and as she does this, it triggers a fan system, sucking Tanaya out of the command center, leaving Kay in the base alone. The violin is her source of power, but it's also her escape. She can escape the demanding nature of the world through music and take her pain away. At the same time, it could also be something that fosters her anguish, as she may have first been given her violin at Alphabet Soup. Once she's finished playing, that means it's time to get back to work. She plays it, it forces Tanaya out of the command center, leaving her alone, meaning it's back to defending the world again from something she released herself. She played it at the beginning, got startled by Summer asking if she's ready to get back to work, and a string broke. Maybe she feels she needs to play the violin in order to feel accepted or to feel like she's doing a good job. I don't know, there's definitely some sort of trauma response here, and it's devastating. Dr. K's life and backstory is dark in nature, but gives her character so much depth and is interesting to think about. There's a reason I say she's my favorite mentor in Power Rangers. She does everything she can and has the world entirely on her shoulders, and you can clearly see how she reacts to things and people because of how she was brought up.
I grew up working round the clock in a top secret military think tank, codenamed Alphabet Soup.
She wants to understand and to feel, to be like everyone else, but because of what happened to her, she can't. Power Rangers RPM famously struggled in its production, mainly in its writing department during the last half of the season. Maybe this isn't confirmed and is just wishful thinking on my part, but with her lab coat and white violin, I would have given anything to see her become a Power Rangers exclusive Ranger as the White Ranger at some point, had things for the show continued the way they had started. Dr. K is a character that was never given love, but chases it just as much as she deserves it. The creator of the Ranger series. Brandon, Helen, Emilia, Amanda, Andrew, Austin, Autistic Disney, Chaco, Ian, Luke, Matthew, Quirky Girl,